Hello, so I'm Vivian Fergoso, and today we are in week 3. We're doing our second lab for this week. It's the EB bacterial morphology and staining techniques. So we're going to be doing some staining today. We have 2 separate videos. So one of them is 2 different little slides here. We're going to do 1 direct M and 2 negative M. We're going to be using our Congo red for one of them, and we're going to be using our crystal violet for the other staining technique. There will be another part for a different exercise that we're going to be using our 3 broths that we've used in our past weeks. So stay tuned for that one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have my supplies here. I have my candle we're going to be using. I have my staining tray. I have some sterile cotton tip swabs. I have my 2 slides that are already labeled. So for this direct one, I wrote the 1 direct M, and then on the bottom part I drew a circle around it. And then for this one I did the 2 neg M, and this one is going to be for that Congo red. We're going to be doing an exercise with that one as well. I have my alcohol, I have my tap water here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and swab my mouth with one of the cotton tip applicators. It's going to be again like my gums and my teeth area, and then we're going to try to keep everything in the circle, and we'll let it dry. I'll pause the video, but I'll keep you informed. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and swab my teeth along with my gums, top and bottom. Trying to get as much as I can so that my slides look nice and pretty. Alright, so I got enough right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply it all on here in between that little circle. So I'm going to give it a few minutes or so to dry, and then I'll continue the video and we'll move on with our video. Alright, so I went ahead and let it dry completely. I lit my candle here. Let's go ahead and move it back just a little so you can see. I have my tool here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run it through the flame, and then I will let it cool for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll go ahead and apply the dye. So we're just going to do like 5 quick passes. We don't want to get too close. We don't want the glass to break or to turn black. So you kind of just want to be quick with it. Okay, so I'm going to let it cool down for about 10 minutes or so. I'll let it sit. And then we'll go ahead and get started with our next activity. So in the meantime, meanwhile this one is drying, I am going to go ahead and apply our red Congo drop. To our next slide here. I'm trying to be very careful I don't spill any. There we go. So I'm going to apply it kind of up on the top there, and I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit, maybe about 60 seconds or so. And once the 60 seconds are up, then I'll go ahead and swab my mouth again. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this through the alcohol just to clean it out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, just give this about 10 minutes or so to cool down, and then we'll proceed. All right, so meanwhile that other one is still drying for about 8 minutes or so. I'm gonna go ahead and continue on. So I have here our other slide. You can see it has the Congo red dye on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and swab my mouth, and then we are gonna kind of work this one into that area where the stain is, and then we'll smear it with the clean film here. We're gonna kind of scrape it along, take off all the excess, and then we'll let it dry. Hopefully by then our other side is completely cooled down. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and swab, try to get a good sample. Like I mentioned in another video, I wear Invisalign, so I accumulate a lot of plaque just naturally, just from having it on all day. So hopefully I can see something interesting under the microscope. Alright, so I got quite a bit of sample here. So I'm going to just dip it into the Congo, kind of work it in, kind of circular motions. There we go. Into that dot. So I'm going to go ahead and dispose of this, put it in our trash pile here. And I'm going to get this slide here, it's a clean slide, so I'm just going to get the edge of it and kind of just work it to the bottom. Get anything excess off. And we kind of just want to work it up, down. And the way you kind of want to leave it is you want it very light. Okay, so this one is done. So I'm going to clean off the excess. I'll put this in my bleach bucket here for disinfecting. And I'm going to Alrighty, so for this portion of our video here, I'm going to go ahead and apply a couple of drops of our Crystal Violet stain to our circle here. It's kind of like a little dime shaped. So about 1, 2 drops or so. You don't want to put too much. So there we go. We put 2 drops here. You can kind of see it here in our staining tray. So I'm going to let it sit for about 60 seconds or so, about a minute. And then I'm going to run some water over it. I don't want it to completely come off. I do want the water to run clear as I am running the water through. Then I'll dab it dry, and then I'll let it sit, let it dry completely, and then I'll go ahead and put the results under the microscope. So I'm just going to leave this, let it be for about 60 seconds. I'll pause the video and I'll come back. Alright, since it's been about 60 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and run some water over it. So you don't want to put it like directly on it because you don't want it to completely come off. But you do want the water to kind of run off of it pretty clear. So I think I got it to come off pretty clear, and it leaves it with like a purple smear on it. So I'm going to go ahead and dab off the excess with a paper towel, and then I will go ahead and take pictures of the results, and I'll upload them into the table so that you're able to see them. So I'm just dabbing it, and I'm going to go ahead and let it dry. So that concludes this portion of our experiment. So I'll go ahead and upload part 2, our second experiment, into another video. Thank you.